How to cool the manager. Let's think about like some fucking like rocket physics. I actually don't use yet the cooldown manager, so I will and actually like Blizzard like thought about like putting like a tutorial with the coming of midnight. So this is awesome. I will discover this because I really like didn't took the time. Maybe I need it, maybe I don't know, but like at least like I know this. So if you could share this for like the math that I won't have to do, and the reading I won't have to do.
This video will teach you everything you need to know. Hey, my name is Jawnhto. This video will teach you everything you need to know about the new.
Hello, Jawnhto. Stupid humor, leave me alone.
Hey, my name is Jawnhto. This video will teach you everything you need to know about the new and ever-evolving feature called the Cooldown Manager. The Cooldown Manager displays your combat abilities, buffs, and utility spells in a customizable size and layout. You'll learn how to customize and organize your layout, how to track specific buffs, and how to set up sound alerts for your spells and abilities. Now you might be asking, why do I need the Cooldown Manager when I already have my action bars? Action bars are great for assigning keybinds, but they come with some limitations, which the Cooldown Manager confidently solves. It's also not a one or the other thing. You can absolutely use your action bars alongside the Cooldown Manager, and this will start to make sense as we look through this. The Cooldown Manager allows you to group and split your rotational abilities, utility abilities, and combat buffs, and then assign alerts to each individual ability to your preference, directly through the game's base UI. The first step is we have to turn on the Cooldown Manager. So, to turn it on, navigate to the game menu. The default keybind for this is your escape key on your keyboard. Click on Options, and you'll see.
Okay, it's stupid, but like the fact that like it even says that like to get to the options, like it really thought about like even the newest player, right? For like his it shouldn't have. It's just like a nice test that like I noticed really awesome. Awesome on Jawnhto, like to even think about like the new players coming out for midnight if they stumble upon this tutorial.
A new option under gameplay titled Gameplay Enhancements. There's a lot of great features here which you should definitely check out, but for now, scroll down and toggle Enable Cooldown Manager. From here, you can click on the Edit Mode button directly below the toggle you just clicked on. This allows you to resize and move 4 elements of the Cooldown Manager: Essential Cooldowns, Utility Cooldowns, Tracked Buffs, and tracked bars. Now, my personal advice is to position these elements surrounding the center of your screen to keep your line of sight relatively close to your character. This can greatly help with situational awareness. If your eyes are darting all over your screen to see your abilities, there's a higher chance you don't notice your character is standing in fire. Of course, this all comes down to personal preference, and
of course it does go down to personal preferences. It's really sound like it comes down to personal preference if you fucking want to fucking stand in the fire. Like, right. So yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, let's hear what your character stuff. Yeah.
You can place them literally wherever you want. It's also not permanent, so you can come back and change this later. Now let's start customizing. Click on one of the elements and then click on Advanced Cooldown Settings. This brings up the main cooldown settings window. Now in this window, there are 3 sections: Essential Cooldowns, Utility Cooldowns, and Not Displayed. The Essential Cooldowns section is meant for your main rotational abilities, but you can place any available ability onto that bar. Let's say I wanted to move Vengeful Retreat up to the Essential Cooldowns and move Void Metamorphosis down to Utility Cooldowns. I can simply click, hold, drag and drop these abilities where I want them to go. I can also reorder them the same way. If I wanted Void Ray to be the first ability, I can drag it to the front. You'll notice some abilities will be gray. This typically means you aren't talented into that particular ability, but you can still set it to be where you want it, so when you swap to a talent build that uses that ability, it will become active. If there's an ability that you never plan on using, or you simply don't feel the need to track it, you can drag that ability down to Not Displayed, and it will never be visible on the Cooldown Manager. Now let's click over to the Buffs tab on the right. This is similar to the previous window, but now we're dealing with buffs rather than abilities. We can track our buffs in two ways: as icons on the tracked buffs UI element, or as bars on the tracked bars UI element. These two ways of tracking lend themselves to different types of abilities or buffs. If you're tracking stacks of a buff, for example, how many soul fragments are near my character, that can be displayed as an icon in tracked buffs. If you're looking to track something that has a duration, like this movement speed buff, that can be tracked in the tracked bars section. In most cases, abilities can be tracked as both icons and bars, so just find a method that you like best and suits your needs. Truthfully, there's a lot of things you can do here, and some things have already been set up for you by default, but I would definitely suggest only tracking what you think you need, because the less clutter on your screen, the less distractions you'll have. Now that you have your abilities and buffs tracked, we can take things one step further and set up alerts to notify you when something happens. We can right-click on any ability or buff, and then click on New Alert. If it's not clickable, then alerts aren't possible for that specific thing, so just try a different one. Here I'm going to set up an alert for the ability Soul Immolation. We can select the type of alert from the dropdown. Let's go with Sound Alert for now. You can also choose other types of visual alerts like flashes and highlights. Now the next part is very important. This is where we decide when we want to be alerted. When the ability becomes available to use, goes on cooldown, or when it gains a charge. If you're a class that uses damage over time or healing over time spells, you can also choose Pandemic, which tells you the optimal time to refresh those spells.
Okay, so this is actually good. It's like, it can be like, this is actually good. Like, because like some like overtime like alerts are like a really difficult, it's not difficult to track as at this point. It's like just grinding your brain with like grinding your brain with a fucking like fucking no idea what it's called, with fucking knives while playing, and it's way easier. Like, it's just like removes a part of mathematics, like kind of like, it's just like you can get there by instinct, but at the same time, it's like for a lot of people, it's like they won't get to this point, and it's really nice that they thought about like some like duration over time that like people just have to fucking like, because like for some healers it's just like, and I did it and I need to check every fucking 12 seconds because like my internal clock is not fucking like focused on the fucking like buff debuff, so I need to check every 12 seconds, and this 12 seconds of checking is actually taking away something from the gameplay. It's really stupid. Anyway, like it matters, like for real, it matters to like for real 7 players, but like these 7 players will be really happy to not like to struggle less to do their DPS or healing cycle.
In the case of Soul Immolation, because it has 2 charges, selecting Available would only alert us when going from 0 charges to 1 charge, because at 0 charges it's unavailable, and as soon as it gets 1 charge, it's now available. This isn't exactly what we want for this spell. If we set it to charge gained instead, this will alert us anytime we get a charge back to use, whether it goes from 0 charges to 1, or 1 charge to 2. Next is the fun part. Blizzard has provided an entire catalog of sounds to choose from that you can use for your alerts. Anything from musical instruments to animals, various types of horns, or if you're a retro gamer, you can use familiar sound effects from Warcraft 2 and 3. You can preview these sounds by hovering over them in the list and clicking on the music note symbol to the right. If none of these suit your needs, you can always use the text-to-speech option, which will simply and effectively read the ability to you.
Soul Immolation.
Once you've settled on a sound, click the Apply Changes button, and bam, you have yourself a sound alert. Each buff or spell can have up to 3 total alerts assigned to it at one time, so feel free to get a little experimental. One of my favorite features of the Cooldown Manager is the capability to save, import, and export profiles. Just like you would with talent builds, you can click on the drop-down menu in the bottom left corner of the cooldown settings window, swap between your list of saved profiles at the top, save a new one by clicking on New Layout, or copy the export code so you can send it to your friend and they can import it to get your exact Cooldown Manager profile. I've been using the Cooldown Manager a lot, and the thing that stands out to me the most is how quickly you can set something up to be tracked. With just a few clicks, you can have one of your abilities or buffs boldly and clearly brought to your attention, whether that's through bars or icons, or sound alerts, or text-to-speech. And pro tip, assign the cooldown manager to a keybind, and it can be opened in combat if you need to adjust something on the fly. Again, my name is Jawnhto, and you can find more of my content at youtube.com/JawnhtoTV. Link will be down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in midnight.
Thank you so much for like the tutorial. Actually, like helpful. Actually, I zoned out because like I'm so fascinated by this type of like math. I'm actually, man, really excited because like some settings in this favorite game like actually like got updated. I'm like, if you're not leaving this channel and if you don't unsub, leave me a hateful comment. Like after hearing this, I don't know what you need, man. Like you probably need an exorcist or something. Anyway, thank you so much, Sid, for like the tutorial.